Sorry about that. Let's start this again. Welcome to the Darkstream. I think we're working. Do we have it? Yep, we got it. Okay. All right. We're going to ban this guy. You know, it's not that hard to not get yourself banned. Just try not to be a complete jerk, right? Anyhow, lots of interesting stuff happening. Lots of potentially significant signs and that sort of thing. But, you know, I'm not going to go into detail on these things. There's not much point. You know, there's already a discussion on the blog going on about whether the Major General who commands the District of Columbia National Guard said that they're there for a peaceful transition to military power or a peaceful transition of military power. It's particularly irritating because what the guy clearly said was a peaceful transition of military power. You know, N-A. That could be to, that could be of. No, it's not clearly of, Brant. You're flat out wrong. Don't do that. If you say that, you will get banned because it's not clearly. Thanks, Big Rig Fix. You're welcome for my time. The point, I mean, I'm not, I speak Italian. I know that means to in Italian. He wasn't talking like that. But, you know, what he said could have been of, but that is a weird thing too. What he clearly didn't say was a peaceful transition to the Biden administration. And so that's really the significant thing. But this isn't going to clarify anything regardless. It's just interesting. And it will be amusing if the God Emperor comes out and announces tomorrow that things are going to change. And we're already seeing a lot of signs that the black hats know that there is something up. Governor Cuomo was going to attend the inauguration. Now he's not. How many of you, let's take a vote. How many of you were surprised when the second rehearsal suddenly got canceled? Yes or no? Were you surprised? Yes? No? Were you not surprised? Okay, so if nothing's going on, if nothing's happening, then how come none of us were surprised that, oh, there wasn't a full rehearsal? Biden didn't show up for the rehearsal. You know, I was just curious as to what the excuse was going to be. And so we all know that this is not going to proceed the way that the media claims it is. Why? Because the media is always wrong. Is there going to be some kind of a false flag? Probably. We already know that they've tried to set up for some kind of mass right-wing attack, which isn't going to happen because every right-winger worth his salt knows perfectly well that there's no point in it. And so, you know, don't believe anything that the media says. Just be patient And, there's nothing you can do about it right now. There's nothing I can do about it right now. So keep in mind that we have the very rare privilege of witnessing history take place. This is a amazing moment in history. It's one of the few times in our lives that we will have the opportunity to see the kind of things that we usually read about in the history books. So enjoy the show. They're gonna fill in the blanks over the next few days, and it's going to be fascinating to see how this plays out. If you can't tell, I'm genuinely excited about this. And if things don't play out the way that I think they're going to, fine. Stop listening to me. Don't tune into this Darkstream again. Don't visit the blog. I don't care. And so, here's the thing that's kind of crazy is that, let me read you some of the messages that you might not be seeing on the blog because the moderators take them off. If I can figure out where I put them. Okay. So we've got this list of shills that we're building up. Here's one. In about 2 days, you will have lost any last specks of credibility you had. You used to write some good articles about events that had slipped my field of view. You had good takes on SJWs and tech, some good takes on pedo-Satanist elite, etc., but this is just pathetic. I'm ready to contemplate any conspiracy, but this is not a conspiracy. This is not a kill box. This is nothing of that sort at all. Some idiot mob provoked by other idiots charged capital, so now there is increased security. How fucking insane, stupid, or just lying scum you have to be to think that those 20,000 soldiers are preparing killbox for the swamp. Just fuck off, idiot. Okay. So this guy thinks that 3 times the number of troops, which it's actually now more like 4 times the number of troops that were required to invade the sovereign country of Grenada, are just there to provide a peaceful transition of military power, or to the new Biden administration. That's just so obvious. Look, I actually attended an inauguration. I actually was invited to the 1988 inauguration of George Bush. I remember, well, I don't remember much about it. I do remember sitting next to Miss South Carolina at one of the dinners, but there were no National Guardsmen there. There was, there were some protesters and stuff. I mean, I remember my mother wondering, because it was cold, it was January, so my mother was wondering if maybe it was a good idea to not wear her fur coat because some of the protesters might throw some paint on it or something. But this whole thing about, we need this security is total nonsense. Here's another one. Y'all are nuttier than squirrel shit. LOL. Thank you, Gamma. I truly start to suspect that you are most retarded person here, Vox. But I suppose not long now until all your endless idiotic posts from God Emperor to Q to Storm and all the rest of that shit is proven utter idiocy, all in caps, beyond any doubt even for you. That is, unless you are truly insane. Just a few more days. I don't think this guy speaks English as a first language, to be honest. Vox, I beg you, after 17 years, don't jump off this cliff. You're not a boomer. You don't need to commit intellectual suicide. No one is ever going to listen to you again except boomers. You can feel the concern. I'm touched. Deeply touched. What is wrong with you, Vox? These guys look to you for rational analysis and commentary, and all you give them is false hope based on nothing. You've been wrong all along the way for weeks now. About what? Don't keep fooling these people. Tell the truth. Tell them what everyone else has known for a month. Trump is going to slink away disgraced. Tell the truth. You know, it's just amazing to me how these shills are desperate to try to convince us otherwise. And what am I saying? I've said repeatedly, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know. I don't know. But I can see the evidence that we are, catching glimpses of here and there, and I can apply logic to those things. I can apply logic to those observations, and then we can maybe reach a correct conclusion. What I'm saying is a logical conclusion. It is about what might happen, but it is only a possibility. And so it's not over. Only the media has said it's over. And there's a tremendous amount of information indicating that the media is lying. The official story is wrong. And so all we need to do is just wait and watch and hope and pray. That's all we could ever do anyhow. So there's nothing to worry about. There's nothing to fear. And if we're wrong, and the media for once is telling the truth, and everything is going to go the way that the media is claiming, then what do? Then we fight in the freaking shade. Okay? I don't think we'll have to. I don't think that we'll need to. But if we have to, then we will. Adrian Alex Post says, Biden opening up the borders, nothing to fear? No, because that's been happening for the past 50 years. Where have you been? The great thing about this, one way or the other, is that the truth is coming out. They can't hide behind their lies and deceptions anymore. Truth is more important than pleasant deceptions. Zach says, Vox, give me some copium. Okay. Trump hasn't just crossed the Rubicon, he has already occupied Rome. Fernando Cova, we can go ahead and this is not going to be a long one, so go ahead with the super chats now. Fernando Kovac says, Times of Israel reports the IDF will attack Iran's infrastructure if Biden goes back on the current sanctions. I'm sure it's true that's what they're reporting. I tend to doubt that it's meaningful. The Times of Israel has reported probably 37 of the last 2 Israel attacks on Iran. See, this is the stuff that's a little bit tiresome. Brooklyn Bear says, if Trump walks away, then how do we fight? Figure it out. What sort of pussies are you? That unless a former television celebrity tells us what to do, how will we fight? You're supposed to be Americans. You're supposed to be the most well-armed population on the planet, and you can't figure out how to do anything? Come on, don't embarrass yourself. Country Roads Patriot says, off topic, but thoughts on NFL playoffs. I haven't watched any football this year, but my thoughts are that based on reading stuff, there's a good chance that the Bills will upset the Chiefs, and I don't think that the Buccaneers are going to be able to hang with the Packers. What is happening in Italy, Vox? Practically nobody knows. I mean, the crisis doesn't make any sense. Nobody knows what's going on, including the people involved. I mean, it's Italy. Christ Wong says, Vox, sides are chosen. We fight regardless of the outcome. I don't get the fear. Roar. That's more like it. That's much more like it. Will tech companies move their headquarters to other states to avoid California arbitrations? No, I think what they're much more likely to do is to simply abandon forced arbitration. Uber is trying to get cute and tell you how you can arbitrate, but that's not likely to hold up. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me at all if somebody brought an arbitration, a pair of coordinated arbitrations, just to demonstrate that that's an unconscionable provision. There's a man after my own heart. I have 12 jars of Jif in the pantry. I'm good. That's the right attitude. Now all you need is some dark chocolate to go with it, and you're in like Flynn. Michael G. Royce is generous and says, locked and loaded. Thanks, Vox. Again, that's the correct attitude. That's the right way to look at these things. Be of good cheer. Do not have fear. Katie says, trusting in the Lord, either outcome, I'm hitting a personal record on deadlifts this week. Vox is number one. Congratulations, and thank you for the kind thoughts. Bradley Hayes does his thing. Good to see him. What do you think of the possibility that the military is seizing power for themselves? I think it's possible that they're seizing power in order to rectify the 2020 election and then hold a new election. A military interregnum is not out of the question. I personally would welcome it. I don't think that the military is actually interested in any sort of South American ruling junta. Larry Dynamite speaks very evil and says, is Jif on Taco Bell the gateway to heaven? No, absolutely not, you sick bastard. Steadfast Bear said, Vox, if you lived in the States, what would be your line in the sand that would drive you to pick up a rifle, so to speak? I'm not going to answer that question. There's absolutely no way that anyone can or should answer that question in public because it's only going to be used against them. Everyone has a line, and just like Ludwig von Mises writes in Human Action, only acting man can decide what the subjective value of any object or action is. So it's totally meaningless for one person to even express themselves on that topic. It's like saying, what is a dog's life worth? Well, that's different for every single individual. Walks with Ant Bear 2 me says, I enjoyed the answer stupid question session. You are a complete savage. So funny. Well, that's offensive and that's racist. I mean, as an Indian, as an American Indian, I'm offended by that reference to savages. It was kind of funny. The Kurgan, when we met, actually gave me a tactical tomahawk in honor of my heritage. So, 88 M. Smidgizzles says, funny how upset people get yet still follow the blog. Well, because they're not really upset. They're mostly just either paid shills or they're self-appointed opinion police. So, Ralph H says, I can't believe I stopped watching Vox on the reg 2 years ago. It's pretty normal. I mean, it was kind of amusing. Somebody said somewhere, I can't remember where. Oh, it was somebody on Gab apparently. I was sent a comment that someone had put on a Gab post. Apparently the post was about me or something. Someone says, I get mad at Vox a lot. I get mad at him and I stop watching. And then it turns out he's right. So I stop watching him again. So then I start watching him again and then get mad again. Apparently it's a process for some people. Here's the thing. Maybe don't get personally attached, emotionally attached to ideas. I'd love to do more Voxiverses in the future, but I have literally no time for anything. The stuff that we're going to be dropping on you guys in March is going to absolutely astonish you. I know we've surprised you before. I know we've done a lot of stuff that you maybe didn't expect. I promise you that what we're going to drop on you in March is going to be a surprise. In fact, I was just doing a little shopping with the technicians on that very topic today. So, this is interesting. So Q is still a thing? Whoa, regardless, if Biden's in 2 days, I'd be pretty surprised something's up. Yeah, everybody sees it. Everybody knows now. Whether it is, whether it is Q, whether it is double envelopment, whether it is the Sicilian gambit or the Sicilian defense, we'll find out. But, there's no reason to think that anyone knows exactly what's going on except for the people involved. Of course we don't. And no plan survives contact with the enemy. So even the people who are planning these things don't know exactly when things are going to happen. I mean, think about this. Dwight Eisenhower was the supreme Allied commander. Wouldn't you say that the supreme Allied commander would know when he was going to launch his invasion? Well, he didn't. He didn't know it. The early date, the first earliest dates that they set according to the plan were too early. They pushed it back. Then they finally settled on the final date, July 5th, 1944. And of course, as you know, that was not the date that we commemorate for D-Day. Why not? Because they couldn't do it then. Events got in the way. So that's the way things work in the real world. So we all hope that things will go the way we like to see, but we don't know. June, yes. Did I say July? Anyhow, June. So anyhow, one thing I want to mention, just to show you this. Yes, I've read all of Terry Pratchett's Discworld novels, except for the last two that were written by his daughter. Anyhow, this is potentially interesting. This is one of the comics that Archaven is going to be bringing to you later this year. The Hammer of Freedom, a dystopia where big techs prevailed. A man stands against the digital leviathan. Sounds rather appropriate, doesn't it? So this is one of the comics from our new Brazilian partners. And it's going to crush. It's going to be very cool. And I think you're going to enjoy it. And then The Awakener, the Red Virus. This is actually not the first Awakener stuff. This is some of the, I think this is the second Awakener graphic novel. We're going to be introducing all of them. So, there's a lot of stuff a lot of stuff coming out. And we also have a lot of original content from our own authors and so forth. In fact, let me give you a little taste of this. So that's the Awakener. I'm going to show you something, one or two other little things just for kicks. So one thing that we're working on is a new comic from the legend Chuck Dixon, and it's very cool, a little bit crazy, and it's called Go Monster Go. Let me see if I can find, there we go. So this is, it's kind of like got a 50s vibe. Ignore what it says about webtoons, because it's that was the original plan. But this is Go Monster Go, and it's a crazy racing, wild. I don't even know how to describe it, but an amazing amount of action, and I think it's going to be pretty popular. And just for kicks, let's see what else we have here that I can show you. Yeah, this, a couple of you might have seen this. I'm not sure. Is this the one I wanted? No, that's not it. Hang on, let me find it. But we're not obviously doing the entire A Throne of Bones. We don't have that kind of time. And or resources at the moment, but so this is one version of the cover. So I want to see, I've got the colored version somewhere. It's amazingly cool. I need to see if I can find it. Huh. Maybe if I go to, actually go to the icons, I can find it. I have no idea what I did with it. I can't find it anywhere. Anyhow, it doesn't matter. So the point is that there's all kinds of content, all kinds of stuff, and I think that you're going to really enjoy it. We do have plans to make video games great again, but we'll see. I'm working on a Sea of Skulls. I'm working on it. Not very quickly, but I'm still working on it. Don't worry. So, yeah, Soma Helvetica is coming out next, and the Plutarch books are just about to come out. What art is on the shirt? This is the cover from Alt Hero number 4, The War in Paris. So anyhow, that's all we've got time for tonight. So have a good evening. Enjoy the show tomorrow. And assuming that we have full access, I will do a Darkstream and we can see how things are looking. But enjoy the show. I'm Vox Day, and this is the Darkstream.